Welcome to another episode of PSL on the Mic, the city's official podcast. Mayor, can you believe that this is our final podcast of 2023?
It is hard to believe. This year has gone by so incredibly fast, it's not even funny.
We hope everyone had a great holiday.
Yes.
And New Year's is coming up very quickly. So it makes sense for us to have a little highlight podcast of the great accomplishments and other things that we have to come for the upcoming year on this episode of the podcast. We're going to pick a few here. We have a very extensive list of great things that we did this year in the city of Port St. Lucie. When I think of highlights from this past year, the first thing that popped into my head was the completion of Phase 1 of Floresta, because it was such a huge deal, a big undertaking. We got lots of feedback from residents that live in that neighborhood. I think you probably agree with me with that one.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a highlight for sure. Phase 2 is underway right now.
Awesome.
Yes. And then Phase 3 will follow after that. But Phase 2 should be done in 2024.
Okay.
Yes.
Huge accomplishment. What do you have to say about that? How important was that?
It was vitally important. It was a project that was promised 20 years ago, over 20 years ago.
That long? Wow.
That got pulled, and Becker Road was accomplished instead. And so basically, it's a situation where we went back and we're making sure that we fulfilled the promise. And it was really important because there was a lot of public engagement involved. Our citizens said, hey, don't turn this into a highway. It is a residential area. Let's do everything we can to keep it that way.
That was really important.
It was. So we worked long and hard to make sure that happened. And what we're seeing now is the fruition. Everything has come to fruition with regard to that, and keeping the residents informed and keeping them happy with what has been decided in terms of keeping that residential area.
Yeah, and it looks so beautiful.
Yes.
I'm a fan of roundabouts. I know a lot of people aren't fans of roundabouts, but there's proof that they prevent accidents. They make it so it's not a freeway down Floresta. I love them. Yep. And now public safety, that's another huge highlight from 2023. What's the most important thing?
So what's most important is we funded 26 police officer positions in our October 1, 2023-2024 budget. Mm-hmm. And that is the largest number of officer-funded positions we have ever had. And so our police department is going to work very hard to make sure that those positions are filled, and recruitment is actively ongoing. And majority of those positions are going to fund District 5, which is in the western area of Port St. Lucie in the Tradition area. Because of all the growth that's going on there.
Another accomplishment, we just had a podcast about our big branding and city identity project.
That's right. So our council last week finalized that and chose what our new brand is going to be. Mm-hmm. And so we are truly the heart of the Treasure Coast, and that is what really has come out of all the stakeholder groups and the external and internal groups. And we are the heart of the Treasure Coast in terms of location. We are the heart of the Treasure Coast in terms of economy. And so we wanted to make sure that we identified as that and highlighted that as we move forward, because our city is growing and that identity was truly needed.
And what do you think about the new logo?
I love it. It's a great logo. I love the little heart embedded in the wing.
It's a sandhill crane with a little heart.
That's right. Yep. Of the sandhill crane, which is is an endangered species, but is a bold, majestic bird, a family-oriented bird, and it really speaks to the heart of what Port St. Lucie truly is as a community.
I agree. We also formed our very first youth council.
Yes, and that was something that we've, been working on for a while, and finally we were able to make it come to fruition this year. Very important to get our youth involved because they are the future of our city, and trying to figure out what is important to them as we continue to move forward and grow.
And we are actually going to have the coordinator of our youth council, Stephanie, who's in communications. She's our engagement manager. She's going to come on, I believe, in around February with one or maybe two of our members of the youth council.
Great.
So that'll be really interesting because I believe they're going to Tallahassee at the end of January with the entire council. youth council,
Right.
not city council.
Right.
So that should be great. What other highlights do you want to touch on that you think are the biggest ones from this past year?
So in concert with safety, definitely the construction of our new police training facility.
Oh, yeah.
Something that's vitally important. It's been very difficult for them to get training facilities at the college and other places because there are so many agencies and so few little places available for training. So to be able to provide our own training facility as we can continue to grow is really important. Not only will it be just the training facility, but in terms of space, there is no more space in the police department for offices and officers.
Yeah.
So to provide the second and third floor for office space is really much needed. And so by having the training facility on the lower level, we can have the office space on top right here on our campus. And in terms of that, officers will no longer have to take hours and hours and be out of service in order to go to training. There could be training programs where they're on the road, and they can come off the street, go in for 45-minute training right here on campus, and then go right back out on the street and keep working.
That's awesome.
Yes, so it cuts down a lot of time in terms of travel and resources expended in order to have to send them off for training to meet their requirements through FDLE.
That's awesome. Anything else
Yes.
from 2023?
So two things that are always on their minds of residents are sidewalks and road repaving.
Yes, ma'am.
So we've completed almost 6 miles of sidewalks this year, and that is in concert between our local funding here through our grant programs that we have, and also we did 46 miles, I believe, of roadway. Yep, almost 47
Almost
miles
47.
of roadway, road repaving. And we have over 917 miles of roads that the city has to.
I was going to ask that because
Yeah.
47 miles that sounds like a lot, but we have 900, you said?
917,
Wow.
over 917 miles of road that we have to take care of. We're unique. Most other cities have state roads, they have county roads that they don't have to maintain, but we have to maintain a majority of our roads. So it costs a lot of money in order to do that. And so we also have our half-cent sales tax funding.
Yep.
We have our road and bridge funding that addresses that. But it is very costly, and we do as many miles as we possibly can every single year. So just to be able to get an additional 47 miles is important.
And the sidewalks, that's a huge deal. I believe the most recent import got its sidewalk. How important is that for our residents? I mean, gosh, kids walking to school.
It is important. We have our plan that by 2028, all arterials and collectors and schools that are within those arterials and collectors will have sidewalks attached to them.
And that's only 4 years away, you guys.
Right.
It's 4 years.
And we are on track to make sure that we are meeting that goal. And then we can start having conversations in the next couple of years about entering neighborhoods and things like that, which will be a much bigger undertaking. But
yeah.
a lot of public involvement will be had about that.
That's awesome. So 2023 was full of accomplishments here at the city. Hey, we started a podcast too.
That's right.
That's an
It
accomplishment,
is an
right?
accomplishment. It's just another way for us to communicate with our residents.
Exactly. And it was a huge undertaking. I wasn't really used to being like the center of attention. I'm like, I'd rather just sit behind a computer or a camera or an iPhone. So it's been a real big learning experience. But that's the best part is I was educated and I learned from everybody who's a guest here with us on the podcast.
Well, you do a great job.
Thank you so much. I don't think I do. And then others are like, you're so great. And I was like, if you only knew that it took me 6 tries to start this podcast today. No. Let's look to 2024.
Yeah.
We had a couple big things happen in 2023 that are going to be rolling into 2024 and actually happening, being completed. The first one is, I think what I'm most looking forward to is Pioneer Park and the port.
Yes, I am so looking forward to that. That's our signature park project that is going to be completed in 2024, I think the June timeframe. And so that is going to be a world-class park, completely different than anything that we've ever done here in Port St. Lucie. And it's going to be very exciting. And then also, as the park is getting done, the restaurant will start to get built. And that should be done by the end of 2024.
Okay.
So from what we've been told so far, they're
Not that far
really
away.
trying to get everything done as quickly as possible. So,
And I'm really looking forward to the stage,
Yes.
the overwater stage.
overwater stage, the kayak launch, the tiki bar.
I
Yes.
haven't. Wait, there's a tiki bar?
There's going to be a tiki bar. Yes.
Okay, I
in
didn't
concert
know
with the
that.
restaurant.
I have not been one of the ones to go over and like kind of hold my phone over and take photos, but some people have been going to the botanical gardens, and I've seen residents post, so look at this, and they can't wait, and I've got to see if I can get in on one of those tours
Absolutely.
or in a couple weeks. Another big thing are road projects. Port St. Lucie Boulevard it's been needed for a very long time. That is expected to be finished, completed?
Yes, it should
Parts
have
of
been
it?
done by now, to be honest. But we've had some issues with the contractor. There's been some water main breaks. There's been some gas line breaks. And so that has taken much longer than we had hoped. It was supposed to be done. But now DOT is controlling that part of the project. And
Right, because there are two
Right.
parts of it, yeah.
it's the same contractor doing the city project portion and then the DOT contract portion. So now it's looking at June of 2024 for that to be done as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Crosstown Becker. We were just talking about this before we went live. From Rangeline. Crosstown and Becker will eventually meet Rangeline.
Well, Crosstown will go to Range Line. They run parallel.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, so Crosstown will go to Range Line Road. That's developer funded by Coulter. That will be done next year in 2024, and so will the portion the entire Becker Road from Village Parkway out to Range Line, and that's funded by 3 developers. So that east-west connection on both sides is really important, and to have that connectivity.
So next year's highlight podcast in December of 2024 should have even more accomplishments
Oh, absolutely.
in it as next year.
There's going to be a lot more.
Mayor, did we miss anything? Would you like to add anything else about this past year, the upcoming year?
No, and the only thing I want to mention is right now the site work is being done on the long-awaited Tradition Regional Park.
Yay.
So we should really see some significant changes coming out of the ground next year. And that will be done probably in 2025.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Again, not that far away.
No, but that's something that's been in the works a long time and had some changes, but it is coming. It's still underway. And the BMX part will be, I think, the most exciting part for our residents. That will be something
So
else that's
exciting.
different that we
Right.
haven't had before.
The BMX park.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Mayor, I hope that you have a wonderful new year.
You too.
And we'll see you again probably, I don't know, in a couple weeks, because we're going to continue our podcast. We want you guys to send us topic ideas at cityofpsl.com/podcast. And we want to also thank you for listening for the past 5 months or so, I believe. We started in July. So it's been great fun, and it was great to have you today. And everybody have a happy new year.
Thanks so much. Happy New Year, everyone.